Hey, oh my gosh, I just talked for like 10 or 15 minutes and I forgot to push the start button. And I was telling you about my brain injury. Well, I guess you don't need any further proof of that one. But here I am at the beach and I wanted to show you the sunset. It's a glorious sunset. And now I think we've missed it a little bit, but it was just amazingly beautiful. And let's see, you know the sun sets in the west in California, and where I lived on Clearwater Beach in Florida, and it was on the Gulf. And so the sun goes into the water, which is just spectacular. But there's not much for you to see, but I will show you. Here I'm walking to the shore. Here you go. Yeah. Can you see a little bit? Let's see. Oh, a little bit. Yeah, you can see a little bit. Oh, and there's a cute little dog. Oh, how adorable. Anyway, I was telling you about my mild traumatic brain injury and the blessings, because there are blessings in everything, and we just have to have the right frame of mind in order to appreciate them. And so I was telling you that when I was in Arizona, and I was working with a videographer and a photographer, one person, and he was a friend, and he said, oh, I can film your videos, and I wanted to get some spiritual messages across, kind of camouflaged in kind of a funny character. Well, actually like 16 different characters. I had bought 16 different wigs, and I had, tutus, and I had scarves, and I had, all kinds of clothing and props and scripts, and I spent a year and a half, like virtually every day, writing scripts and then talking about the spiritual messages, and then I learned how to edit them, and then I posted them, and then I did a website, which is mariahaiti.com, and so I think I have like 50 videos on them, although someone told me that they were in German. I was like, really? How did that happen? So I did take German in high school, but other than Ich liebe dich, I don't remember much else, and Auf Wiedersehen. But anyway, so let's see. I was telling you that about the brain injury, that I do consider it a blessing. And of course, you'll see that maybe my conversation is a little disjointed, but I was going from Scottsdale, Arizona. Well, the bus was in Phoenix, and I decided I had 6-foot a giraffe that was his name was Socrates, and he's in my videos. I had a big elephant named Tutu Cutie. I had a 10-foot long, like a worm or caterpillar that was red and pink, and her name was Lovey. I had so many big stuffed animals. I had one that was the length of the king-size bed and like 3 feet across. I mean, this was 2 people had to carry him, and that was a big pink dog. Anyway, I had so many things, and so I couldn't get them to Oregon, and I was moving from Scottsdale to Ashland, Oregon, because I wanted to study with a spiritual teacher there. And many of you can figure out who that would be. But anyway, so I wanted to go there, and I didn't know how to get my things there. So ultimately, I ended up putting them in storage. And actually, they were stolen while they were in storage, which is pretty weird. And I'm still waiting. It's a year and a half later. And they said they were going to give me a nominal amount, a nominal sum that, might pay for just the suitcases or something, but not even the contents. And they said, oh, it's in the mail. It's been in the mail for a long time. Anyway, that was easy space. And so I don't think I'd use them again. But unless they make good on what they promised, right? Everybody, you don't tell people something and then not come through on it. But anyway, so I had to take my things to move them from Arizona to Oregon. And when I did that, there was no way of shipping them economically. And I wasn't going to spend a lot of money on that because I didn't have it. And so everybody said, oh, put it on a Greyhound bus because you can take 8 suitcases. And I'm like, really? And you can take 3 suitcases on the bus that you're on and then send 5 on another bus. And I was like, but you have to go on that bus. So I was like, okay, well, all right. So I bought a bus ticket and it left from Phoenix, and we went to Blythe, California was the first stop, and it was a little potty break. And so everybody got off, and I was basking in the sun. It was such a beautiful day. It was June 5th, 2019. And as the bus driver gets on the bus, and I'm thinking, okay, I better get on too. And there was a whole line of people that still had to get on. And so he gets on the bus, and then I get on right after him. And I can't really remember because I was putting my foot on the bus step, and all of a sudden the bus door, this huge, I don't know how many tons, like 2-ton steel door, like closes on my head and my face on the right side, and catapults me to the left side of the bus, where I hit the left side of my head and my entire body. And I collapsed. I couldn't remember what happened. The only thing I remember eventually is that there were the bus driver and somebody else. They were holding out their hands going, trying to pick me up, saying, call an ambulance, call an ambulance. But I said, no, because I couldn't remember. And I thought, I can't go to a hospital that I don't know anybody there. And if they say, oh, she needs brain surgery, yeah, right. So I had no advocate. I was afraid. And I couldn't even speak. So I couldn't even explain what had happened, because they were going to stick me on a bus. I'm, on an ambulance, and they were going to continue. And I thought, oh my gosh, what do I do? So I ended up going back on the bus, and then by the time we were in Sacramento, my head was just so throbbing and my body was all bruised and everything, and I said, okay, you can ambulance me. So I did. I went to Sacramento, and they diagnosed me with a traumatic brain injury and post-concussive or a concussion, and then all kinds of issues anyway. And so finally I get to Medford, but moving to a new place when your head feels like it's in a box, it's kind of like on Halloween when some people have like those boxes, they wear boxes over their heads. Well, that's what my brain injury felt like. It had to be totally quiet, and I couldn't listen to music. I couldn't listen to talking. It had to be dim because my eyes were, very sensitive to the light, and I was stuttering and just horrible, horrible things. And so anyway, we're talking about blessings. So let me tell you that for the last, 20 years, I obsessively write. And I edit and I write and I edit, and I'm a Virgo, and my background is science, and so I'm very analytical, and everything has to be perfect. And so I edit, and then I re-edit, and then I edit again. I edit ad nauseum. And so the blessing in the brain injury is that I sometimes lose my memory. And so I don't remember what I've written. So sometimes I read my work and I think, wow, this sounds really good. Who wrote it? And so anyway, the blessing is that when I had the brain injury, my conscious mind had to come out of it because I couldn't think about what did I write? What do I want to write? And how am I going to say it? It was just too much for my brain to process. So what I decided to do was just sit there and type. And it was more like just, I don't even remember what they call it. But it was like just, channeling sounds so arrogant. It's like, oh yes, you have a direct connection to God. I mean, we all do, but it was my higher self. It was just getting my conscious mind out of the way. And that was the blessing in it, because I think writers are, well, some writers, certainly I do that. You know, we obsess, we want everything perfect. And so this way, my conscious mind was out of it, and I think it's really my best work. And I'm probably maybe a week or something away from finishing it. So I'm excited about that because it comes from a place in my mind that I can't access on a regular basis. So the thing is that whatever sounds like, oh, it's so horrible, we can turn them into blessings, and we just have to pay attention and really, you know, really pay attention and really focus on the good. So like when we're with somebody and we find out that they're cheating or something like that, I mean, it is a blessing. I mean, of course it hurts because we think, excuse me, but you know, I didn't expect that, and like, I wouldn't do that. Why would you do that? And so it's like, so I guess we're done. And so the blessing is that you are done, or you could be done if that's what you want to do. And so you realize that if they cheat, then they probably cheat on other things. They might cheat on their taxes. They might, you know, cheat at work. They might go through your wallet. They might, you know, lie, you know, because if you're not in integrity in one thing, generally you're not in integrity in other things as well. It's not just an isolated lack of integrity. It's pretty, there's a pretty wide scope for that. And that is, you know, that's the character. And so unless they have like this amazing spiritual transformation where they see that they want to become their best selves, and maybe that's where we're all heading. I certainly hope so. With the, you know, people's vibe is increasing, and we're starting to see who we really are instead of kind of like little puppets on this planet Earth. We're starting to see the divinity within us, and that divine spark that is so sacred. And we all have it. Even criminals, they just have it so buried with all kinds of gunk that they don't really appreciate themselves, and so they just stay cloaked in darkness. And you know, and then there's consequences for all our negative behaviors. I mean, karma is real, and it does know everyone suggests. So anyway, the bottom line is that when there's a misfortune, quote unquote misfortune, you know, we can really turn it around, even like a brain injury, or even, you know, a cheating boyfriend, or a job loss, or you didn't get the house you wanted, or, you know, whatever happens, you know, when you think it's bad luck, it's not bad luck. It could be that your higher self is rerouting you for something better. And that's the bottom line, you know. So stay positive and know that whatever adversity comes your way, you just never know. It could be your greatest blessing. And that's what we're going to focus on. Okay, all right, I love you. Bye. Let's see. What did I do? Okay. I think